Welcome to the AME television show. I'm your host, Jason Dowd, and we've got a great show in store for you guys this week. It is the holiday season, one of my favorite times of the year. We just made it through Black Friday and Thanksgiving, and now it's on to Christmas. So I hope you guys are all excited about Christmas time, the Christmas specials that are coming out, the Christmas cookies. I hope you guys are just enjoying the entire season, because this is a season for Thanksgiving and to reminisce about what you've done throughout the year and be thankful for the stuff that you've accomplished. So we have two great guests coming up today. We're going to start off by talking to Tyler Huth. Now, we talked to his sister Kayla not too long ago, and he's going to be talking to us about his career. Now, he's 13 right now, and he's making the odds happen for him. It doesn't matter his age. He doesn't care about his age. He's going out there and doing what he loves to do, and he just got starred in a brand new film called In Search of Liberty. So let's go talk to Tyler about his career, the movie In Search of Liberty, and we'll be right back after this. All right, guys, we are here with Tyler Huth, and you just talked to Kayla Huth, which is his sister, and together they make a pretty good team doing acting. He's an actor. He's been in a couple of movies and some commercials. So, Tyler, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
You're welcome. So, let's talk about how you got into being an actor. What made you want to get into the industry?
Well, it all started for me when I was like 7 or 8, and me and my friend Mitchell were outside just doing like short films, and we had like a little iPod as a camera, and I just fell in love with it. And then last year, I went to Grace Studios acting class with my sister, and we just, I don't know, it just makes my heart beat faster. And when I get to play so many different characters, it just, I don't know, there's no feeling like it.
So tell me a little bit about the commercial that you did. I guess it kind of started with a Disney commercial. Is that right?
Yes, that was my first big thing. It was actually my first thing. So I started filming that. It was a 3-day shoot, and it was all about like Disney golf and Disney parks and like the whole fun experience that you have at Disney. And that was basically my whole kickoff thing when I was in 6th grade.
What did that feel like when you first got your first job?
It was amazing, because typically it takes like a few months to a few years for an actor to start working, and I got signed, and in the same month I auditioned and I got it, and I was freaking out. It was amazing. It was awesome.
Now, there's a lot of differences in the different types of media out there,
Yeah.
Movies, television, theatrical stuff, and commercials. What's the difference between it, and how much of a change was it for you to go from like a commercial to a full-length feature?
That's a good question. The whole difference is a commercial, you get one character and you get to play multiple different ways, and you get to do a whole bunch of different things, which is amazing. A movie, you do get to do different things, but you get one character and one script, and you have to be that same character the whole time, which can be months or weeks or stuff like that. And it can be a long time of just being the same character, but it's all about having fun with the character. So I think it depends on the person, but yeah, that's my take on it.
And obviously, like I try to ask everybody, when you're still pretty young, you broke into this, what type of idea would you give to other boys or other girls that are looking to get into the industry at a young age? Because a lot of the parents are always saying, well, you're too young, you shouldn't be doing this and stuff. If it's their dream, they want to do it. So what would you tell them to do?
Well, for me, I didn't think I could be a great, like, an actor, like, do that stuff, because, I don't know, it just never really clicked with me. And then I tried, and I went to a class, and I picked up a script, and it was great. So no matter what age you are, there's a young actress, there's young actors and actresses on Disney, there's movies, like, it doesn't matter what age you are. It matters about your passion and how much you love it and want to get into it. So I definitely recommend it for anyone, any age, who wants to get into the industry.
One thing I like about the industry is that it does not discriminate against race, color, sex, or even body shapes, because there's something that needs to be in there for everybody. You know, it's real life.
Yeah.
So I think that if you have that ability, no matter what it may be, try it.
Yes,
You know?
I would totally support that. There can be, it doesn't matter what race you are, if you have a broken arm or like, it doesn't matter about your skill set. It matters about your ability and your drive to want to do it.
So tell me a little bit about how you prepare for a role, and what would be the most ideal role for you in the future? What would it be? A superhero? Would it be a Western, one of those Western cowboys that saves the day and rides off in the sunset? What would it be for you?
Well, my dream role, I fell in love with this, actually a few movies. One of them is called Catch Me If You Can, and it stars Leonardo DiCaprio, and he is one guy that plays a ton of different roles in the same movie. And he does an airline pilot. I love aviation. I think I could do that role really well, and I would love to have that role. Another TV show I love is called The Flash, and I would love to be The Flash.
That was my favorite character growing up too. I think it's just because of the fact he's fast, he's red, and I would love to be able to run that fast.
Yeah.
I don't care about flying. I want to be able to run across the world in about 15 seconds. That's my idea
that'd
of
be
fun.
Awesome.
So let's kind of take a little bit of different approach to this. Okay. What would be the most challenging role that you could have, and why? If somebody cast you, and would you be afraid to take it, or would you take it?
Well, the most challenging role for any actor would be how many lines you have, how long the shoot is, what's your character depth. And when you're acting, there's a thing called character arch, and that is it's basically your emotion of your character throughout your story. And so if I had, for the movie, I had about 60 lines, and that wasn't too much. But if for any actor, lines are just so important because it's not your words, you're speaking someone else's words, and it's really important to have those. So it depends on the lines. I don't know. I think maybe the role... I'm sorry, I messed up. Let's got that. So I think it's really important that you know your lines, you know your character, and any role, honestly, could be a fit. You just have to know your lines, you have to know your character arch, and yeah.
Now, you were in this pretty intense movie. It's about the Constitution. Mm-hmm. And tell me a little bit about this movie.
Well, it's called In Search of Liberty, and it's all about government and how we're straying away from the Constitution. And I'd hate to say it, but it is true. Sadly. But our rights and the amendments, and it's all about that. But it's not as boring like a Constitution movie. It's not about that. It makes the Constitution real, and it does a whole bunch of examples. It's a thriller. It's awesome. It's going to be a great movie.
And what was your character in this movie?
I played Ryan Ellis. He's a 13-year-old boy, like me. He plays guitar, and he's the innocent one in the group that doesn't know much, but in the end, he really turns around and knows a lot about it.
What was your most challenging part playing that character?
The most challenging part about playing Ryan would be just his lines and what he is trying to get out, but it's written in a way that kids will understand it, but adults can relate to it as well. And so playing that and trying to level it for kids and adults with it being on the same level. And so I think that was the hardest part.
Before this movie, did you really realize that the Constitution was being so overlooked in our schools and taught the way that they want you to know it, as opposed to the way it was meant to be portrayed?
Well, I have a really good teacher. His name's Mr. Smith, and he taught me a whole bunch of stuff about the Constitution, and he is one of those who believes that they are teaching us the wrong thing and they need to bring that back. So I was taught about the Constitution, and I'm very knowledgeable about it, but I don't know if other kids... I don't think other kids are well educated on it, and adults as well, because you said when you were growing up that...
Yeah, it was the Second Amendment.
You're not taught.
Yeah, it was the Second Amendment, and the way that they taught the Second Amendment was to protect ourselves against foreign bodies, when really the Second Amendment has nothing to do with that. The Second Amendment has more to do with protecting ourselves from our own government in case it ever became a tyrant type of a government.
Correct.
And when I found that out, I was shocked. And the key that they used to it was saying, in order to form a well-rounded militia, Well, back in the 1700s, we didn't have an army. So it made sense. They skewed that to make sense. And I'm like, wow, you know what? You're right. We got a great army. Why do we need this? Well, I realized the importance that the Second Amendment protects the First and the others.
Yes.
So without the Second Amendment, you don't have a constitution.
Correct.
And that was really what opened my eyes.
Yeah.
So, what was probably one of the things that you learned about the Constitution that was like, wow, I can't believe this?
Well, I'm very big in like guns, and like I love going to the shooting range and hanging out with my dad and like doing all that stuff. And so I was very involved with the Second Amendment, and it's a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, to the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And so with all the new gun laws and gun control stuff that's going on, I'm not sure. I love guns, and I think they're great. Everyone says guns kill people. I think people kill people.
Yeah, they do.
Because if
do.
I sit a gun right between us,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Unless it grows legs and is able to stand up and then do something, which I don't think it's going to do,
No.
unless you're probably high on some type of drug to see something like that. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So tell me a little bit about some of the other things you have coming out. What are some of the things you're going to be trying to work on in your career?
Well, I can't say any names of what I'm working on now. They will be coming out, so you can look for me. Can't say any names, but I would love to tell you about some of the stuff. So I just got back from the movie, and I did 3 different commercial. I did a little bit of extra work on some TV shows, but yeah, that's basically what I've been doing.
Awesome. How can people find you if they want to connect with you, maybe even hire you for a job?
I'm on IMDb, Tyler Huth, and then I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and that is all Tyler Huth Actor. Comment and like it. I love comments, and I'll totally engage with you. But that is how you would find me.
So when they hit you on the Facebook, it's really you responding.
Yes.
That's good to know. All right. Well, thank you for coming on and talking about this career that you have budding. I cannot wait to see what you have to come out with, and we look forward to hopefully bring you back on when you got more stuff out.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, my name's Ty. I have been playing golf for about 6 years now. I learned how to golf from my dad when I was 7. We came here to play the golf courses. We're kind of competitive, so we're gonna go play 18 holes and see who the real champion is. I've never beaten my dad in golf. Today, the student will become the master.
You better take a practice swing.
I know you like the beach, but you gotta leave some sand for the other people. No.
I'll give it to you.
Today, I did get my first hole-in-one. It was at the mini golf, yes, I admit that, but it still counts.
Putt-putt doesn't count.
Still counts. We do like to challenge each other, but all in all, it's really fun. The best part about golfing at Disney World is you can crush your dad at golf. Then you can go to the park and go on all the rides. The coolest part about today was we had a really fun time, and it was fun hanging out with him.
If any other industry tried to do something like this, they'd go to jail.
Stuart Venner helps people out of timeshares. He warns we're pawns.
Yes, we are.
Venner says timeshares lose so much value they're nearly worthless when buyers opt to sell.
If you can get anything, it's really a miracle.
When there aren't any nibbles, Venner's tried giving deeds back to developers, but he says they refuse.
They're telling people it's worth $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, and I offer it to them for nothing, and they don't want it back.
Finance guru Dave Ramsey goes farther, labeling timeshares one of the biggest scams to.
Are you stuck with a timeshare? Did you attend the presentation and were seduced and enticed into buying that great vacation and investment? Now you're in the terrible position of trying to figure out a way to get out of that mess. You're not alone. For over 15 years, BuyYourTimeshare.com has been helping people like yourself get out of timeshare ownership. The fact is there is no resale market. Unscrupulous telemarketers call you and say they have buyers waiting, and the next thing that happens is you give them hundreds of dollars for an ad, and you'll never hear from them again. Another fact is that an identical timeshare to yours is being offered on eBay for $1, and no one is buying it. If you want out of your timeshare, I urge you to go to BuyYourTimeshare.com or call them at 877-94-HELP-ME. That number again is 877-94-HELP-ME. BuyYourTimeshare.com. That's BuyYourTimeshare.com. 877-94-HELP-ME. 877-94-HELP.
All right, guys, we are back, and we have got another guest coming up. But before we get into that guest, go check out our website, www.theamemagazine.com. That is the AME Experience All-in-One, which is our radio show, our television show, and our magazine. There's so much stuff up there for you. It's completely free. It will take you forever to go through it, but that's what we want. And hopefully when you go up there and check it out, you're going to be inspired to do something for yourself. Maybe challenge yourself with a new art form. Maybe start up a business. But whatever you do, challenge yourself. Also, if you're on Facebook, like us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The AME Experience, and you can check out our Twitter, which is @DOWD Studios. That's my personal Twitter. That is the studio's Twitter, and it's the AME Experience's Twitter, so there's a lot of stuff on there as well. So our next guest is a dancer. Now, I love dancing. I'm not good at it, trust me, but I love watching it. It's such a graceful art form. And there's so many interpretations of dance. You got ballet, you have belly dancing, you have Middle Eastern, you have Spanish and Latin dances. It's amazing what you can do with your body and make it look so elegant. Well, this is what she is passionate about. Her name is Oriana, and she is the owner of Midnight Lotus Dance Company, and she teaches you belly dancing. So we're going to be learning about the Middle Eastern style of dance. This is a lot of fun. She's going to even perform for you afterwards. So let's go check out Oriana now and find out what Midnight Lotus is all about and her style of art. Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Oriana, and she is going to be talking to us about something that she loves, and it's her passion, which is called dancing. We all love to do it, but she does it in a little bit special ways. Not the type of dancing you're used to. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So, first of all, tell everybody what got you into dance.
Well, I had no previous dance experience whatsoever. I was a senior in college, so I was 21, which is really late to start as a dancer. And they were offering free belly dance classes in the school gym. So I decided to try it, and I got hopelessly hooked.
Now, belly dancing is a little bit different than your normal dances that everybody's used to, but it also has a little bit of a taboo feel to it for some unknown reason.
Correct.
Why does it have that taboo? Why is it taboo to people?
That is a very, very long answer, but the short answer is that it is a sensual dance. It's not the sensual in the overt way like we think of burlesque or pole dance, but it has gone in and out of legality in the Egyptian and the Arabic-speaking world, depending on different political views that have come through. But it's also a celebration of a woman's body and natural movements that come naturally to that as part of a folklore, both inherent to a culture that we've had a lot of conflict with here in the U.S., but also that sometimes women dancing is threatening to whoever happens to be in power. So, like I said, that's the shortened version, but there's a lot that goes on behind it because of the cultural connotation.
If they're worried about a woman's dance as a threat to their power, they got a lot more issues going on.
That's also a long answer.
So you chose belly dancing. There are, like you said, there's various forms of belly dancing. What is your style, and why did you choose that one over the others?
I am a classical Egyptian, or a modern Oriental or modern Egyptian dancer, as it's sometimes called. There's a couple different names for it, but basically what that means is that I follow the traditional Egyptian method of using musicality as part of my dance, as well as the folkloric and stylized movements that were brought through the Silk Road to Egypt. That differs from a lot of other styles of belly dance in that it is not American made. It has very little American influence in it. So it is the truest to the authentic form from the mother country.
Now, you loved it so much you decided to open up your own studio called Midnight Lotus, which is really cool. Tell us about Midnight Lotus. What made you decide this is what I want to do, this is how I'm going to pursue my arts?
Well, I began teaching about 4 years ago, and a lot of my students were coming up to me saying that they wanted to be professional performers, but they didn't know how to start, or that they had never seen Egyptian dance and they wanted to know more about it. So I started this program and I started teaching in this format so that those students could have some place to be, some place to celebrate the art form, learn, grow, expand, and eventually become professionals on their own. So it's kind of like a finishing school for aspiring performers.
Now, being an entertainer, it's a lot more than just dance. There are so many different aspects that go into making this a show. What are some of the things you have to teach your students in order to put on a good show?
How many staff needs to be involved? You have lighting crew, you have sound crew, choreographers. You have to understand where your music comes from, the licensing behind that. You have to know how to approach a venue. And more importantly, where a lot of people don't know that much about it, is marketing. And in the age of social media, marketing is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just an island out there and nobody knows about.
Right.
What has been the biggest mistake that you find with dancers as they're performing?
The biggest mistake that I see from people that are starting to learn to perform is that they don't necessarily dance for their audience. They've gotten so used to dancing in a classroom format that they either kind of don't think about how entertaining they have to be, or they don't understand that maybe everyone in the crowd may not like what they're doing and how to react and respond to that. And both of those things have its place, and it happens depending on where you are. But sometimes getting negative reactions from the public can be absolutely disheartening for students that are getting out there on their own.
Yeah, I know that all too well. I've had a couple of negative attacks myself, but you have to stay strong to yourself. If you love it, don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Just do it for the love of the art. That's what it's all about.
Correct. And learn how to respond appropriately and just approach them and say, like, I'm sorry that, it wasn't what you thought it would be, but, I love this very dearly and I respect your opinion, and just take it as that, and it's not a personal attack.
Yeah. How do you sit there and tell somebody that don't, let it go? How can they use the negative feedback to better themselves?
Well, you can never really tell someone to let it go. You can't change someone's opinion overnight. But I do try to say, I understand that this is not a culture in which I was born in. I encourage you to look up resources, and I try to name a few names, name a few places that they can go get more information so that they can do that on their own. I don't see myself as a social warrior where I'm going to go change the opinions of everyone. That's up to them, and they have to learn to accept certain things at certain times, because usually if they don't like it, it's for other reasons. It has nothing to do with the dance or with the dancer.
That's right. So if somebody wants to sit there and hire you to teach them to be a belly dancer or any type of dance, I'm sure you do other things too, other than just belly dancing, how can they find you?
The easiest way to find me is to go to our website, www.midnightlotusdance.com, and contact us through there. Or you can go to my personal website, which is orianabellydancer.com.
And I'm sure you have a tour coming up with a bunch of different places that you're going to be dancing at. Where are some of the most recent ones, maybe in the next 2 months, that people can find you?
Well, we've got a lot of projects starting up that I can't give too much away on, but we are going to be filming a little bit, and we are going to be doing some musical projects, and we're also looking at doing a show called Ritualism in March in Spring Hill. We're going to start there and possibly bring that down to Tampa Bay. It's a show that showcases a lot of different sacred dances and ritualistic type dances from the Arabic and Indian speaking world.
All right, well, thank you for coming out here, but we got a special treat for you because she's going to dance for you. What are we going to be seeing here in a second?
I'm going to do a segment of a very classic song called Alf Layla wa Layla, which is Arabic. It means 1,001 nights.
Awesome. Let's go check that out here, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Limo Bob builds, sells, and rents the world's finest, longest, and most exotic limousines in the world. We provide every imaginable vehicle from a 4-passenger town car to a 10-passenger Bentley Rolls and a Hummer for $20. We even have a one-of-a-kind 727 jet limo. And we offer a complete consulting package where Limo Bob comes to your location and shares 3 decades of experience in 3 days with you. Call 708-945-LIMO and visit limobob.com.
All right, guys, we are back. Now, what we have seen in the last month or so has been record-breaking, world-changing events. We have seen the Red Moon. We have seen the Star of David. We have seen President Trump win the election to break all kinds of records. And I'll tell you about that in a little bit. We also saw the Chicago Cubs break a 108-year curse. How cool is that? They won the World Series. That's something I never thought would come out of my mouth anytime soon. Well, anyways, to give you an idea of what the momentous occasion was, not just that they won the World Championship, but what has changed since they won the World Championship. Let's kind of go over this. The last president to when they won the World Series was Theodore Roosevelt. Walt Disney was only 7 years old. The 2 oldest baseball stadiums weren't even open yet. That happens to be Fenway Park and Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field opened up in 1914, which means it was almost 7 years since they opened up their new stadium that they were actually able to raise a banner. So Wrigley Field has never even had a banner raised in it. We also know that the Titanic wasn't even built yet, and so it didn't even get out there yet. World War I didn't even happen. That's how many things have changed since the Cubs won the World Series. So congratulations to the Cubs. Now, every single solitary championship, you got the NFL, the Super Bowl, you got the Stanley Cup, you have the World Series, and you have the NBA championship. What happens after every time that they win a championship? What do they say? Well, you just won the World Series. Where are you going to? We're going to Disney World. Well, I got to see this momentous parade. I wasn't even expecting it. I was just there having fun, and I was just dumb luck. There it happens to be. And I got to be a part of this history. So we're going to take you to Disney World to show you the World Championship Parade. You're going to see the final out and what made them the world champions. So congratulations, Chicago. Congratulations, Chicago Cubs. It's been a long time coming. We're very proud of you. So let's go check out this parade. We'll be right back after this.
Look for the ball in the dirt, and if you think you've got the opportunity, steal a bag, because the odds of getting multiple hits here with 2 outs, although the Indians have done it before. Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series! Bryant makes the play! It's over! And the Cubs have finally won it all! 8-7-10.
Walt Disney World and the Magic Kingdom celebrate a historic moment, 108 years in the making. Please welcome Juan Zedris, Addison Russell, and Javi Baez of the World Championship.
All right, guys, it is the end of the show, but before we go, I have a major announcement for you. I'm very excited about this. It's very close to my heart. Now, a while back, I had a goal and a dream, and that was to have my own television network. Everybody kept telling me, you know what, it's too expensive, it's completely out of range, just forget about it. Well, I don't just give up on things like that. So I challenged myself and I made it happen. Now, we're not on cable yet, but we are streaming on a Roku channel. Now, Roku, all you need to do is have the box, and the box is running anywhere between $20 and $100-something, depending on what types of features you want with it. But the channel is completely free. All you have to do is go to the public channel section and look up IAS Broadcasting Network and add it to your lineup. Now, what we have on there is some great shows. First of all, we have a lot of music videos that I've done over the years, but we also have a brand new reality show called Oriana Lee's Diary. Now, you may know Oriana Lee because of the fact she's been on our radio show a lot of times. Oriana Lee is music royalty. Her mom is an international pop star and singer-songwriter. Her uncle is David Ruffin, the lead singer of The Temptations for My Girl, and her grandfather is Jimmy Ruffin, who sang What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. She wants to follow in the same footsteps. She wants to entertain the world, and she's got the charisma, the voice, the personality. You just love her. She just bubbles over with joy and excitement. Now, she is going to show you what it's like to walk in her shoes. She's going to show you what it's like to write songs, to go to a recording studio, to become an actress that she wants to become. She's showing you what it's like for her transition from England to the United States to become that pop artist. She's also going to show you what it's like to live as a teenager and go to prom and date and go shopping with her friends and just live life. That's coming up. It comes out every 2 weeks. And if you want to check it out, go to iastelevision.com. You'll be able to see what the show's about, and you'll be also able to add the channel right from there as well. We also have Reading Adventures coming out. Now, Reading Adventures is an original show that brings books to life. We realize that kids are so stuck behind their Xbox and their game systems and their cell phones and their tablets. They're forgetting what it's like to have fun reading. Now, if it wasn't for books when I was growing up, I wouldn't have half of the imagination I do today. So we're going to bring these books to life. We're going to make it interactive. They're going to have QR2 codes so they can find extra stuff after the episode. We're going to teach morals, values, fun, excitement, all kinds of great stuff. That's going to be coming out soon. We're just about ready to get into the first stages of production for season 1. So check that out. Also, you'll find out all about the show on IAS Television Network by going to iastelevision.com. All right, guys, so that's all we have for this week. We got more great stuff coming up. We got some great guests coming up, more great adventures. All you have to do is go to theamemagazine.com to find out what we're up to. Until then, keep those creative juices flowing, and we will see you back next time.
Like, OMG, you were on TV and junk.